back to 2-2 we go, and into Game 5
This set deserved to go to Game 5. This set
sure.
absolutely deserved to go to Game 5.
After just Game 1, this deserved to go 5 games, and the full credit to both these teams. And I can't even tell you right now who deserves to go to the finals. No. It's whoever wins this one, obviously.
It's weird, because Soar have a very similar style to Eager, so that's something that Panthera is going to be ready for. On the other hand, you know, Enemy, they have a style very similar to Panthera, very mid and late game focused. You can see Metyankey on your screen there, a little bit separated from his team.
Even the crowd has gone to the bathroom now. It's been that long. That's what's been going on all day. It's been crazy action. And Metyankey there, you said, he's had a fantastic tournament so far. I want to say he's played very well. And Pain, once again, now giving orders about what he wants to do for picks and bans. One more time, one more big push from the team. And I tell you what, that push he gave himself last game was satisfying.
I believe it was 22 kills in the end, which means 2-0 and 18. He was a part of virtually everything, 96%, something like that. Don't question my math, guys, thanks. But, I mean, he was just rotating, and I mean, it was just team fights from the beginning. That was the first time we actually saw Enemy take a lead in the early game.
Okay.
The other 3 games, they were behind.
Nemesis. Let's talk about Nemesis, because we've just seen it 2 games in a row, and 2 games in a row wasn't useful.
I think Enemy used it better than Soar did.
Agreed, but it still wasn't useful enough.
Yeah.
They just picked Jigz, that was it. And they still ended up losing. Well, picks and bans, final game of the day. Winner goes on to face Panthera tomorrow. Soar a first pick. Enemy, they'll have the counter pick option at the end.
I think we're gonna see Guan Yu, Giannis again. I mean, obviously it was a different style from Enemy there, but I mean, I don't really think they want to give, at the very least, Guan Yu will be banned, which means if Giannis is banned, I'm very confident that Guan Yu will be banned away as well.
Well, Giannis will be banned, and Ao Quan will be banned. No more of that from Homiefe this game round. Baskin looks a little bit tired there. You saw him on the screen, just rubbing his eyes like, oh, it's been a long one. And to be fair, he's always happy and go lucky, is Baskin at the moment, but he's having a good old think with his team about what they want else to do with their second ban here. They've got a bit of time remaining to really think about this.
And I don't see it being anything else other than Guan Yu unless they want to pick it up. Enemy could look to maybe save it for later, and yeah, it's gonna go that way.
Yep.
What did they ban last time in this situation?
Well, they banned Giannis and Guan Yu all the games so
No,
far.
I'm
After
saying
game
it was Alqua. Really, Enemy gonna ban the Nemesis, so they respect it. I'm a little bit surprised. I have to imagine Soar gonna first pick Thor again. I mean, this was the exact same thing that happened in game 2. I don't know if this is gonna come back to bite Enemy. Maybe Enemy realized how to counter that style.
They need to take Thor away from Varizial. Varizial's last game on Thor was absolutely monumental. They can't give it back to him one more time. They should look to take it away.
Okay, it was, this is exactly what happened in game 2, and it was Zeus Athena. Are Enemy really going to decide to go back to that?
Maybe they won't.
Could be. I really think Khepri Zeus would be better, but
no.
Instead it's going to be the Cabrakan.
And they picked Cabrakan in the first phase last time round as well because they wanted to make sure Maruader got it. And Maruader had a great game on it, to be fair. It's helped a lot for them. Back with the Raijin, though, again.
Hurriwind here, trying to figure out how to combo. And I think he could have gone Zeus there. Happy with the Scylla pick, though, and it's going to be the Bacchus on Jigz.
Okay, so Bacchus for Jigz, no Sobek this time round though, and then heading over to Enemy, and they need a jungler right now, but they're going to go for Xing 10, so the same similar composition coming out from Enemy again. The double Guardian meta might be coming back.
This is their core, right? They have the Cabrakan in the soul lane, they get a matchup they're favorable with because Baskin hasn't picked yet, and they have the Xing 10 for support. And this is a thing where Soar are going to have to decide how they want to end up countering this, and this could be worrying, right? Because what's going to happen is, if PainDeViande's reaction time is fast enough, and he has been kind of hailed as the person who does not have the strongest mechanics. We were talking to Soar earlier this week with some player interviews that we don't really respect PainDeViande when it comes to mechanics. We think he's probably one of the worst in North America looking at supports, but his leadership, his shot calling is unmatched. PainDeViande, all he has to do is press forward the second Bacchus jumps in, and the Bacchus is getting thrown away.
Well, potentially, but if he can press forward the right time, that's the key. It's not an easy window with Bacchus either to be able to do that. Long thoughts from Soar here on that second ban. It will be Xbalanque. More respect there to, once again, PandaCat. And I think the Darkest Knights made a big impact in that last game.
I think it'll be Artemis banned away as well. I would imagine Maruader very happy right now. You can see the smiles on his face.
It's like, I got Cabrakan, I don't care anymore. I found a god I don't get soloed by Baskin with.
It's my favorite one, too. Amaterasu, take it away from Baskin. So I like these targets, and Artemis is left open.
It is left open, and they don't actually make sure he doesn't get Hou-Yi, but PandaCat may go for Artemis here, and I don't think that's a bad call, even if they do this.
I don't know. I mean, his Artemis has been so good. Obviously, Thor, Bacchus, Scylla, we talked about the dive comp, how good it is against Zeus, but you're also giving...
Cupid.
You have to... Oh.
I mean, he went Cupid earlier on. Satman did it earlier as well, actually, over this tournament.
Cupid destroys that composition.
Cupid's very good against Thor here, but will they go for... No. They'll go the safe
Completely
option.
switching it up.
They'll go for Anhur. Strong in lane, strong in the jungle, strong in the early game.
Also has the CC immunity with Desert's Fury, so if he does get ganked by Thor or, you know, Bacchus jumps at him, he can, you know, react in time. Also has a pretty good combo with Xing 10, obviously. You have the whirlwind of Raijin steal into the guaranteed hits onto the Desert Fury. I mean, that's a lot of damage early on.
A lot of this game for Soar, I feel, is going to come down to Thor and Rav and combining very, very well together early on. We need to see Baskin get big early, but Baskin then needs to make that rotate into the major part of the game. Not like game one, where he got a big lead and didn't manage to confirm it for his team. No, he needs to get big and get strong. Apollo for Metyankey.
Final pick coming in from enemy there. It's going to be their jungler, and...
It's so funny how long picks and bans take when these games get this intense. Chaos, look at him. He's pumping his team on. Let's go. Let's go. Fenrir is the one, he says. And they lock it in.
This is a pick that adapting always goes back to. Not something we've seen too often onto Varizial here, but you can see enemy very confident in their draft. Jigz and Baskin, the boys of Soar, very quiet right now. It's game 5 between Soar versus enemy. Winner of this is going to head to the DreamHack Masters Finals.
And Raijin and Fenrir is what I'm looking at on enemy right now. That early game from those two can be absolutely crazy. If they can get off to a flying start here in the mid lane, find a kill potentially onto Scylla, or even onto the Thor, things will go very quickly in their favor. And as you saw in game 4 just then, enemy, if they can get hold of a lead, they can snowball so very, very hard that you're out of the game before you even blink an eye.
And enemy typically isn't that team that runs early game compositions. Obviously, they can sometimes. That's more of a Soar and eager thing. They just did exactly what Soar was doing. They got a couple kills across the lanes. They grouped up and they destroyed.
But this is a good early game focus once again with the Fenrir in the jungle. With the Raijin, those two in the level 2 fight on change. Fenrir leaps in. Immediately, Raijin crashes in as well. And you've just bursted down whichever target is at threat.
It's a lot of free damage is what I look at with Raijin, where the Raiju, the Thunder Crash is so wide. It's such a big circle. You throw the Raiju down as well, you come crashing down. And Raijin actually is going to be seeing nerfs pretty soon here, but they haven't come through just yet.
Not just yet. There's all the teams for it. Only 5 of those men on your screen will make it to the finals tomorrow. Let's go into game and see how this one plays out. Soar will be on the left-hand side of your screen and the bottom side of the map. And the right-hand side enemy will be fighting in the top half of the map, and Power Potions are back on the board again.
You gotta go Power Pot. They control the game right now, and Hurriwind on this Scylla. Scylla used to be very late game, right? Couldn't clear lanes, but now level 3 swinging away here. And Raijin as well, we saw how powerful he is, even level 1, almost full clearing.
I was going to ask you if you're going to see any cheese early on in this game, because when it comes down to the wire like this, cheese is useful.
I mean, it was the best dead. I considered that a little bit cheesy. Split pushing, scumbag.
I guess, but I mean, with this game all on the line, you've always tied things up. And I wish we went back through the actual grass to see when enemy and Soar have played, who always took the first game.
I know.
Because the last one.
The thing is, I think cheese is always risky, right? It's nothing you get to practice
just got
regularly.
cheese, and look at these two.
Oh no!
Look at these two. They're going for the invade. They've got wards down. They're going through the mid lane as well to make sure they don't get caught out of position. And this is the time you want to do this. You risk it all on the line on one invade.
Oh no!
Oh, they think they're doing mids and they're not. They're going to find out they're not there for the mid harpies. I think that's what they were looking for. If they were doing them and started it, they would have bursted things down. So in the end, they're just going to find... I'm so disappointed.
Also, I think Varizial was just jumping around.
No.
He was just like having fun.
No, because enemy don't know they did that, so they're going for the blue buff. Baskin's going to lead the way in, and they're not looking towards them. They've both got the back to their enemy. Baskin's going to come in and say, hello, friends. How are you doing? Goodbye, Varizial. There's your power pot. Hey, Maruader, you're a god in your usual ability. He can't do anything. He's going to lose his buff as well. Soar off to a great start. I expected cheese, and it worked.
I mean, that's just a solid invade coming out from Soar, and I love it. Game 5, like you said, the perfect time to bring it out. You haven't invaded all game. And honestly, even if you just looked at the composition, if this was game one, enemy honestly might be prepared for the invade because you're like, okay, Rav and Thor, very strong, need to be a little bit careful.
But this was a pocket strat from Soar, because what they did was they came round the middle lane. They didn't go through the jungle, so they didn't get caught by a ward whatsoever. So enemy had no sign of it, and enemy weren't even looking because they had no vision. So get engaged on, and immediately Varizial loses 450 gold just in the power potion and his speed buff.
And now he's gonna have a Thor. Homiefe going to be very far ahead. He's going to be able to get his own buffs as well, split them up. Level 3 right now, Varizial only level 2, and this is going to get Khaos behind because Hurriwind's getting these solo waves, and it's a 2-man split.
It is. Now look at that. So into their own jungle they go, getting their own blue buff, and now their own speed buff as well. So this is working out great for the jungler in Homiefe. Meanwhile, over to the dual lane, and Metyankey under pressure here from PainDeViande. That's a great lot of poke just alone from that Guardian on the front side. A great performance from him so far.
And PainDeViande really just wants to keep the pressure up. You've already given up solo lane right now and jungle. You can't win those right now. So make sure you get ahead in duo. You need to be incredibly careful, though, against a Thor.
And that's the big key. They can push in, they can go aggressive in this lane, especially with an Anhur. But what they cannot do is overextend too much, because if they do, Homiefe will make them pay because he is further ahead than your Fenrir.
And Homiefe gonna be hitting 5 soon. It's gonna have to be massive vision control from enemy, because if they lose track of Homiefe for one instance, we saw what the Al Kwang could do, right? And we saw what his Thor could do in game 2. It's gonna be the same thing. They need to make sure that they have full control over where the Thor is rotating.
What is Hurriwind doing? Oh, what was that? Whoa, that was crazy shenanigans coming on there. Hurriwind popped his ult very early, expecting Homie to confirm the damage. But Khaos, as soon as he saw that, immediately disengaged. They expect him to go in because overall, Hurriwind was very far forward.
I like the whole idea, but you probably shouldn't use your ultimate, I'm a monster there, until Thor says, press the button, I'm coming down. That way you get the full guarantee, and the other person doesn't really have a time to react, because what they're going to see is they're going to see you go into I'm a monster, but they're first thinking, what are you doing? Oh, but Khaos
Hurriwind's now in trouble as well, because Fenrir is there as well. The damage is good. 3 shots, 4 shots. No, the 4th doesn't connect, but it wasn't enough anyway. However, Homiefe has now found Khaos there in an awkward position, and Varizial actually defends him a little bit. The minions getting involved as well in the scrap in the early game. And now Metyankey, the hero they need. No, denied from the play from Varizial. What a great play. And the Archer take out Hurriwind.
And now a rotation from PainDeViande as well, but Met does get his purification. How did Hurriwind just die to Archers?
I do not know how he died, but Metyankey's now going back to base here, and enemy, they've got themselves in a position now to try and get their way back in, but Baskin here on the left goes into the jungle, steals away the speed buff.
I mean, let's just break down that last fight. That was so incredible. Khaos goes aggressive, doesn't find the last hit onto Hurriwind, but he gets him low enough. And then Homiefe has the guaranteed kill onto Khaos, but Varizial, he played that perfectly. Not only saves Khaos, but also, not only saves him once, but also saves him again. Gets the stun off on a Met's rotation, and then body blocks the autos as well in his move it, so he can't get close enough to use I'm So Beautiful.
I just want to go back now, and if enemy reach finals today, please remember Archer minions, because these minions, Maruader got a kill yesterday because of them, and now he just got a kill on Hurriwind because of them as well.
I don't know if this is Hurriwind losing to Archer minions or enemy have paid the Archer minions.
They paid Archer minions.
They've paid the Archer minions.
Clerky is in collusion with the Archer minions. That's what's going on here.
Oh man, Clerky, come on now. Right-hand side though, Maruader locked under his tower. Baskin still does have a lead in this solo lane.
He's going to try and find an ult for the second time this game. PandaCat's the target. Dunk connects. Purification immediately. Double tap hit beautifully, and Metyankey takes the kill.
And now Soar still up 2-0. You can see about a 2K lead, 1,500 I would say. 5 minutes in, this is really solid. Baskin also going to be able to continue to pressure out Maruader, has 900 over him. It is a majority of the lead, but we've seen what Baskin could do when he's ahead. Game 1, he was ahead, he didn't utilize it. Or I should say, Soar didn't utilize him. I would like to see Soar utilize him this time. He's got the main advantage. Make sure to rotate him over.
Jigz with Hurriwind going to combine to make sure they secure the speed buff here for Homiefe, as well as share the experience out. Homiefe obviously level 8 already. This is good to allow the mid laner and the support to catch up.
And they have to, right? They did get a little bit behind. Khaos had a slight experience advantage, and we saw, I have to go back to it. I have to talk about game 1, right? Soar, once again, had the early lead. This set should have been over, in my opinion. This set should have been over, but Baskin or the team of Soar played it poorly. He had 5 kills in 12 minutes, including a triple, and then he sat in lane and split pushed while Gold Furies went on, while other things happened. He focused focused on stealing away boars instead of rotating to pick off PainDeViande. He has a lead, and Soar need to utilize it. They have to.
Well, 6 minutes in, it's a 2,000 gold lead for Soar, and it's all because of that invade at the beginning of the game they've managed to capitalize on. Hurriwind did take a tumble, but good news is nobody got an assist from that or any gold out of it, so it's not all doom and gloom from that small misplay from the Soar mid laner. Over to the right-hand side, and Maruader versus Baskin is continuing to go on, but this time round, it's not only Cyrus he's going to have to deal with, it is the Ravana.
And Baskin seems to be getting the upper hand, has a slight experience lead. Look at Jigz rotate in, though. You can see Homiefe right now has about a 600 gold lead himself, already starting to work on the Jotuns.
Mentioned gold lead, Baskin just mentioned it again. He's got magical damage coming, so magical defense coming online. But look at it, it's about an 800 gold lead between the solo laners right now. That's huge. And once again, they're in his half of the jungle, looking to strip away buffs,
can't do anything.
looking to strip away experience, and his melee, he can't get in here to defend.
Oh, enemy actually going aggressive here. The stun on a Jigz, but Baskin's going to turn it knocked up. Done, son! And here comes PainDeViande throwing 2 under the tower. Knock it up as well, but it's not enough damage.
Crash it away, I'm a monster's pop doesn't connect, but now Khaos is in trouble. Spin to win from Homie will secure another kill. Baskin dragged into the depths of the tier 2 tower. He will fall in trade for Varizial, but Soar is still winning this engagement. But look at this, PandaCat coming around the back. This Hunter's had a good game, and so is Metyankey, but Metyankey's in an awkward position as the Impale does hit onto Hurriwind. Desert Fury channel through, he switches target. Metyankey's out of mana here. They're gonna run him down.
Over the wall, the double tap. It's not going to be enough to stop it, and Varizial answers back 2 for 2. No one comes out ahead overall, but I mean, that back and forth.
It's been the whole day. Bloodbath, as per usual, 2,000 gold, 1,200 gold, 1,800 experience. The gap was actually closed by enemy there because of that little skirmish from Soar.
I mean, PainDeViande, right? You talk about the ultimate. It's just like, it's so long, but when you get it off, especially in a scenario where players don't have their escapes, if you are close to them, if you are right next to them, as long as the other player doesn't have any movement speed, they're getting thrown. You saw them thrown into tier 2 towers right there. I think only one hit connected, but still, the follow-up was good. The reposition kept Soar in an awkward spot. You knew exactly where they had to go, and then Varizial picked someone up as well.
Well, Pain will head back to base there and continue working on defensive items. Gonna go more than likely for the Heartwood Amulet here, get the magical protections online for his team. That clearly states to me they're worried only about Hurriwind more often than not, and maybe the intoxicates in the early game from Jigz.
It's possible. I mean, you always have to watch out because the Bacchus is the initiator. He's almost always going to be doing damage to you if Soar are looking to engage. And with penetration boots, it's nothing to mess with. I think it's also gold efficiency. Tier 2, Silver Talisman, super cheap, bunch of magic protection, bunch of health, just good items.
All good stuff. Gold Fury being looked at by enemy there. 4 members grouped up on that left-hand side. They do have wall control there, but Soar seem to know what's going on as well. But Homiefe here in the mid, still hanging around and looking to try and find a rotation coming out from Varizial and Khaos.
This is a
Varizial
bad
just
time.
leapt in though, and I don't think Varizial saw what was going on until he had to Ragnarok. And now it's ult for ult between the junglers. PainDeViande going to get isolated a little bit, but leap back to safety once more. Ults are down, junglers subside, and we just go back to farming.
I'm really surprised Soar wanted to engage there. You saw multiple purifications were down, but Homiefe's made the rotation.
Don't know why Homiefe grouped up so close to Baskin there. And now because of that enemy are now looking at the Gold Fury. Washing machine activated, forcing purification from Metyankey. I'm a monster off the mark. Soar get it! Metyankey! I think that was Metyankey that got that, and now Khaos is going to fall down to Hurriwind's crush damage. And there goes Baskin, looking for PainDeViande. Yankee crashing in. He gets the Gold Fury, and he gets himself a kill. The Hunters are here from North America.
Metyankey keeping Soar in it. They've now got a massive lead. They're going to be pressuring this tier 1 in mid, and Varizial's walked into 3. I don't think he knows Baskin's behind him. He jumps away to the right-hand side. Homiefe, the hammers down, looking at his cooldowns. Might not be able to close the gap, but he does have speed buff. 1 more second on the hammer. He needs a double tap. There it is, just off the mark, but he teleports, and 1 more hit finishes off the dog.
Does get the kill, but I think on the right-hand side, we missed PandaCat. Did pick up Metyankey there by the looks of it on the left-hand side, where it looks like Met overstayed his welcome just a little bit. And in the end, they don't find anything else from this Soar, and that's what they should have done. They went hunting for kills. Instead, could have got objectives.
Should have been a tier 1 tower, 500 gold in the pocket. Instead, they trade out 1 for 1. Obviously, Homie could pick it up, but I mean, PandaCat there finds Metyankey, like you said, a little bit too anxious. Probably feeling himself. I mean, he did just steal a Gold Fury, get a kill.
Well, Maruader needs to do a very good job job, as he has been so far this tournament, but he's been under a lot. He got bursted in that last engagement that we saw, and it just ended up going off from there as well. 7-3 in score. Gold lead just escalated hugely for Soar in that engagement as that went on, considering the Gold Fury went down as well, and it was Enemy that started that gold.
3K now, and Maruader probably a big part of that. I would imagine at least 1,000 by now, and you can see it's 1,300. So this isn't too bad for Enemy because half the lead is on the solo lane, and as long as Basket stays out of the fight, that's a massive win for them. But Soar, they don't want to let off the gas. They know that's exactly what kind of messed them over.
Not going to connect. The Thunder Crash was good enough, so he will get away from the danger. He will allow the left Harpies to go.
That was the purification. Hurriwind hits the stickum, and that was something Khaos was a little bit surprised at. Aggression in the mid. PainDeViande going to get out, but Basket steals away the blue.
And Varizial's over here and going to find out too late, as meanwhile mid lane, that tower's about to fall down unless someone gets here soon. He's got reinforcements of PandaCat coming from the left and Varizial from the right here. We may see a fight in mid, but in the end, it looks like Panda's gone back to base. So Panda's now coming in once more as the fight enrages in mid.
Oh, and now one to the sky. Looking to come down. Hurriwind's already taken off Varizial, and Homiefe lands directly onto Khaos. He can't survive that. Here comes PandaCat, though, and impaled into the wall. Metyankey makes his rotation as well. PandaCat just trying to juke. Throwing in the autos. PainDeViande can't get out of the belt, but Marauder's here.
Oh, but he can't get to the Apollo he was looking for. Metyankey slips the noose of the gap that was being closed on him there with the moves.
Oh, man. I mean, Soar somehow escaping that one, and Enemy trying to fight back in. However, Soar have extended their lead now, a little bit over 4,000. Gold Fury's not spawning just yet. 7,000 experience, and you can see that's starting to take effect. Homiefe, Baskin, both 2 levels ahead. Khaos is relatively close, and actually PandaCat has a slight lead over Met.
Now last year, it was definitely Xbalanka that had the most steals of Gold Furies overall, right? But this year, we've seen a lot of Apollos do it, and there's one that's in the crowd as well. hi-rez has turned up to watch. He's pretty good at that. I'm pretty sure he sat there himself going, taught Yankee that. He watched me in the pro league.
I've done that. You
Done that a couple times.
What other guy he stole away a Gold Fury with?
What?
Anhur.
Anhur as well?
So we could see PandaCat return the favor,
Maybe
but right now,
he needs to.
So we're looking really good. The series is tied 2-2. Winner of this wins the best of 5, goes on to face Pantera, and Soar Gaming are going to find Maruader left alone.
They keep grouping up just a little bit too tight, though, these two, and that because of that, Marauder's getting a free chance to get away with the stun. He's going to get back to his tower edge and try and juke out the ability to find the double stun again. So he's still surviving. Jukes out the double tap, spins to winter line, and he's still alive. Baskin's had enough, though, and will execute him, but now the teleport is coming out as well, and it looks like Soar have overextended, trying to find the pick on Marauder.
Nowhere for Baskin to go. Hurriwind's here, but here comes Homie. He finds one, and Jigz around the corner as well. I'm a Monster connects. Homiefe takes out 2. Khaos late to the party, and Soar Gaming, it looked like they had overextended, but it was all a bait.
It was just because the rest of the team knew what was going on over there and they noticed the rotations. If not, Soar could have really paid the price badly there in that engagement overall. Maruader did so well to try and keep himself alive and wait for teammates to come. They did come, but so did the rest of Soar. And now Metyankey rotating all the way to the right-hand side. It looks like Soar want to punish them even harder. With so many members dead, they want to get more. They want the tier 2 tower. So they're going to look at Khaos, find the double tap. Homiefe, Thor needs banning away from both these 2 junglers.
Oh. And now comes the crush. But here comes PandaCat. Is going to find the impale, but he gets knocked up, or actually stunned, excuse me. And Baskin trying to teleport in. Good presence of mind from PandaCat to knock that down. They definitely don't want Baskin level 15 in the middle of their squad.
And PandaCat goes back to mid and continues farming up once more now. Enemy hanging on in this game at the moment as Soar. Well, they're starting to find these team fights time and time again that are going in their favor, even when, you know, Enemy have a shot at getting back into it.
I mean, the mechanics and the baits from both these teams are just so close. And look at this, I love what Jigz has done. I hadn't mentioned it just yet, but he's actually picked up Purification. You saw this in kind of the NA versus EU matches where Eager really abused out Mana-like, right? It was in the same situation, a Bacchus against a Fenrir, and just didn't buy it. And we've seen Jigz stay alive multiple times because of that.
Multiple times because of that. Now the Gold Fury respawned, and control of it is in favor of Soar here. They've got the wards down and they're all around the area. Last time around it was Enemy that started up the Gold Fury and Soar stole it away. This time though, maybe a bit of a different story as they're looking for picks here. Homiefe leading from the front on the fall once more.
Maruader actually does not have a teleport for 15 seconds. I think if Thor knew that, they would have already started up the Gold here, and I think they have. And now Homiefe by himself. Enemy are going to take this time to try and pick him off.
Well, they do get Ragnarok out of that, but at the same time, Homiefe was forced to use his Purification. So now Enemy and Soar both have to think, which one's the bigger advantage here? Is it known? Oh, there's a flop coming in from Jigz, not going to find the mark of Chaos, but round the back comes Baskin for Homie goes to the sky, going to dunk in on Chaos, and Chaos is in trouble, gets the drums of war sounded, and he's still alive. The ultimate from there is off the mark from Hurriwind, but PainDeViande secures Homiefe after a great ult.
Oh man, somehow Maruader not dead just yet, and Khaos escapes death as well. Left-hand side, Metyankey gets the knocked up,
he's
and
out of the cage.
Finishes him off.
He's out of the cage and he's on the cat Anhur. He finds the kill, but now Baskin's rotating as his enemy trying to support him. But Panda wants to fight. He knows he's got teammates coming. The roar is out. It'll slow down damage. The impale is good, and Baskin just met his maker as well. PainDeViande, credit for the kill. Xing 10 is here.
That's why you have Soul Eater. That's why we started to see this item picked up at the meta. Below 25%, a massive heal, and Baskin trying to make the hot play to help after Met had fallen. And Enemy Esports, every time you count them out, they are back.
And the gold goes their way. The experience is still huge, though, in Soar's favor. 6,000. The gold has been shredded in half, however. It was just above 4,000. It's now down to 2.2. An Enemy looking towards the tier 1 tower in mid. And if they see that speed, they'd like that too, Jigz.
Enemy are just so good at objectives. I kind of want to go back to it. Remember that tier 1 in mid that instead of combining for and
Wait
doing...
a second, Homie's going up. I think he's trying to defend this on his own at the moment. No support. Apollo in the sky, though. And Varizial recognizes that Homie's not got no beads. They're trying to drag him out. Varizial took a lot of free damage, and Homie gets credit for the kill. Baskin just teleported on the back, too. Chaos just used Purification, and immediately Baskin punches him in the face, trying to slow him down, allowing Jigz to join him. Forces the ult out of Chaos as Metyankey cleaning up the front side. Soar and now charging forward. Crush is out. Pain is dead. Metyankey gets a double. He's looking for the triple, and Soar are pushing on.
PandaCat, though, does manage to find a return kill, and Baskin impaled into the wall, but Enemy, we thought they had clinged back into it. There's only 2,000 gold separating the team, but Homiefe combines perfectly with Jigz and Metyankey's ult as well. Baskin teleports behind, and it was honestly just a surprise. There was flanks from 3 different positions that Enemy weren't prepared for, and then Khaos. The biggest problem for him was that he burned his teleport, very scared of Jigz. He had got belly flopped, he had got knocked up, but he wasn't aware of Baskin coming out from behind.
But that was all down to Homiefe engaging and trusting in his team to follow up on it as well. Very lucky for Varizial, had tower aggro and ended up going down, but because that jungler was down, they're just able to run through. The fast return from Metyankey really impacted that as well. And now Baskin looking to steal it away, not going to find it from Varizial though. We'll put out a bit of poke pressure there once more. And once again, well, it's now Soar in the game with the lead after a big objective of the tier 2 tower.
Is this even a lead at this point? I mean, it
is.
It's so close. Looking at the player damage charts right now, though, Khaos, 0-3-3. This has not been his game. 300 damage, below his support.
I came into this game and I said, Enemy are the best objective controllers in the game. They gave away a goal for you to Metyankey earlier on, but the team fights is where they're weakest sometimes. They're very, very good at picks, but sometimes they're very weak in team fights, and they're being punished by Soar because of that, because Soar seems so much stronger when it comes to them.
A lot of times it's their mechanics. I think this is... Enemy is a team that...
To be clear, the comms calls are great from this team. The decisions to go in and out are good, but when it comes to mechanics of this team, it's just not there sometimes.
It's the meeting of two opposites. A very early game, aggressive team that has a bunch of star players who hit their buttons just better than anyone else in North America, versus a team where players are solid, they're really good at mechanics, but it's just all about the team fighting. It's all about the shot
all
call.
About individuals. The shot calling is not really there from Soar, I want to say. I wanted to say, let's go, let's fight. That's what it kind of feels like to me, but they win those fights. I'm not sure the shot calling's on the same level as Enemy, but the mechanics, well, they are. And that's why this is such an intense game between these two.
PainDeViande has Blink Online and Shell, trying to find a position to go in. He wants the at least a couple players to use their movement abilities. He doesn't want to spin up his ultimate. 2
pinches going on here. Jigz is pinching from one way, but Varizial, an Enemy, is pinching from the other side. And in the end, they're all just going to push back to the safety of their tower at Enemy. They may have to give up the tier 1, but at the moment, though, Soar don't have any minions, so it'd be up to their front line to have to tank this up if they want to go in and try and steal it.
I don't think they want to give it up just yet, and I love what PainDeViande's doing. He's not actually the person who's going to sit in the front. That's Maruader. That's why they've drafted this double guardian, so they could have their soul laner who's going to be levels ahead, be that guy who's going to absorb most of the initial damage, and then Pain comes around from behind.
Wall goes out, wall misses. Tier 1 tower still stands. In the jungle, Baskin meets PainDeViande. And Pain's trying to flank around the side with Varizial. Well, he's trying to keep Varizial around the side so he can get in. And immediately Hurriwind recognizes that frozen the crush. Now she's going to engage on Baskin a little bit. Baskin returns some poke back to Pain. And as you said, keeping him combat so he can't get the blink. But in meanwhile, forced out is PandaCat. The leap is down. Homiefe is up, looking for the dunk, and the pillar's down too. Holding it, finds it. No, he doesn't. Desert Fury's found instead. Metyankey picks up Maruader while this is going on, and Khaos is isolated at the back. Thunder crashes back to safety, and on the way, actually managed to pick up one, but Baskin will secure him, and Baskin's going in for two. Metyankey's joining him for the double kill. The mess is good, the crush is good, and now the rest of the team filing through as well.
And they did lose one player. It is Homiefe, but they take out the tier 1 tower. It's going to be a tier 2 as well, and I got to give full credit to Baskin for that fight. Obviously, everything was phenomenal, but the whole point of what enemy's trying to do is have Maruader frontline and PainDeViande teleporting around in the back and just ult. The spin to win hit multiple players. Instead, though, Baskin keeps him in combat the whole time. He also keeps Varizial busy, which means Soar has a number advantage. They force the 4v3, they blow 2 members up with the Intoxicate from Jigz, and then it's just a snowball effect where it's really hard for enemy to win the fight in that situation.
Just look at that player damage on the left-hand side. Remove the Anhur from that equation, and what do you see?
I see 5 members of 4 just completely dominating enemy. I mean, 6,000.
It's a lot of player damage, and even that's even including. The funny thing is that Jigz is above damage of Hurriwind, but he's still above the whole of enemy right now. It's all PandaCat in terms of damage here. They're not finding enough, but I guess that's the composition, to be honest. The only one that's not finding it is the person at the bottom. Khaos is being focused again, and that's what happened in game 2 when enemy lost to Soar in that one earlier on today.
With the Zeus.
Yeah.
And it was the Bacchus. The Bacchus might be the detriment that enemy goes back and says, we should have banned him in that game 5. The Bacchus is just, it's so useful. We've seen so many multi-man knockups and intoxicates. It's okay if it's just like, okay, one person got knocked up in a team fight and hit with the ultimate, we can survive. But to have so many people take so much damage, you could see it's happening, right? Because like you said, not only above Hurriwind, but also above all the damage that enemy has output, you know, Sans PandaCat. It's just, you can't have that. You can't have that as a squad.
And at the moment, Soar on the advantage, as we said, swinging around to the right-hand side here. 3 of 4 members of enemy are here. And Khaos, he's not seen Hurriwind, I think he will do now, crashes over the wall to safety. But now the rest of the Soar are swinging through the jungle, looking to try and find a pick and pressure the tier 2 tower.
This is bad for enemy. They don't have any relics online right now. They have a single meditation and a single sprint. There's no purification, there's no sanctuary to stay alive.
Someone got caught out of position. That was Varizial, and I forced to disengage on that as well. Doesn't have purification available for himself either, Varizial, so he's going to be very careful for at least another 20 seconds. And neither does Khaos. Look at Khaos' cooldowns on his relics there. About another 10 seconds for each.
Oh, Baskin.
As they look to engage, it could be the best time to do so.
And Varizial's forced out. You can see Baskin. This is a really bad pinch from enemy. You can see Ravana just behind them.
They're waiting for Varizial to come back as well. And the moment the minions are coming in, the tower's below. I'm a monster connects though onto Khaos there. I just saw it here. Maruader, actually, I should say. Now Maruader will fall down to Metyankey, who's on a rampage, and they're looking for another pick potentially. As there goes Homiefe crashing in as well. A Soar pushing on, looking for the win here. They're going to find Varizial. They're going to find PainDeViande. Soar, all 5 members are still alive, and Khaos is running for his life. Forced to ultimate, and there goes Hurriwind, finding the kill in the bounty, getting the double kill. PandaCat leaps back to safety, the only guy with actual damage in this game for enemy so far. And look at this, they're going for the end. So, can they do it? Are they going to go to the finals?
PandaCat trying to hold the Chaos Knight at 4,000, but he's not going anywhere else. Deicide from Thor, 24-11 in kills, 5 games it took them, but they're advancing on. They're going to be facing off against the reigning world champions Panthera tomorrow to close out Smite DreamHack Masters.
We will not get a repeat of Worlds and see enemy up against Panthera. No, there is a new dawn in North America, and it's shown right there. Soar have managed to defeat the second team, the number 1 seed, I should say, out of North America coming into this tournament. A great performance from them. They lost the first game. They came back with 2 games. They lost the 4th game and then came back with a win.
And General Pain there. No hard feelings to his troops. You could see they're not disappointed at all. They fought hard. I mean, they deserve to be here. You could see that.
That's a general. That's a team. And that's what you should be doing. 3 new members at LAN managed to get this far and put on such a show. But let's give the congratulations to the winners there. A fantastic performance from them all. And the ones that haven't been to LAN before performed better than everybody.
This almost feels like the finals at this point, just because of how competitive these teams were. And honestly, both of them showed up. And
They did.
This is actually a pretty good thing for Panthera as well. We saw so many strategies shown by Soar that they probably wanted to keep secret.
They had to go very, very deep in what they had available to them to make sure they could pull out the win. Both teams gave it their all. We saw a lot of strategies and there'll be a lot of talk online about what we saw today and over the course of the tournament so far in terms of picks and bans and ideas behind it. But maybe, would you say the beginning of that game, that invade that came up from Soar was the reason they won? I don't want to say it's just that alone.
I think that was the biggest part of it because we saw how good they are when they can get a lead. The second, third, and fourth game, the second and third game where they really dominated, they had the early leads. Same there with that last game. Game one, same situation, but they kind of threw it away, not playing through Baskin. He wasn't a part of the team fights. And the problem might have been that he had most of the kills, right? If he doesn't have those kills and plays the same way, it's probably okay for Soar, and they closed this out a game earlier.
Absolutely fantastic performance from both these two teams today, Henry. Now, well, they've done well to get this far. They did get knocked off the #1 spot and Soar got themselves now in the finals tomorrow. They'll breathe a sigh of relief for at least a little while. They're going to have to think long and hard today now. Well, tonight, I should say. Ready for preparation tomorrow. It's been crazy.
They're going to be watching the VODs of Panthera. The double ADC is not something normal. And we have the victors on stage as well. F. here. Who do you got?
Adapt King.
Thank you guys very, very much. I'm here standing with Hurriwind, the mid laner. You guys looked at points fantastic, at other points not so much. But at the end of the day, you wound up on top. Talk to me about how arduous this was and how incredible it was to just wind up on top in game number 5.
I can't even describe the feeling. It's not a feeling I've ever had with anything else I've done in my life before. It's crazy.
So you guys came out, enemy won game number 1, but 2 and 3 seemed pretty strong. 4 was a devastating defeat. How do you bounce back from something like that?
Well, it's really important that everyone on the team just stays encouraging and says, like, for example, if I have a less than stellar game on Scylla, they say, we still believe in you to keep playing that pick. Like, don't get too down on yourself. It sucks, but we know you'll do better next time. And that sort of mentality helps carry you into game 5 after a rough game 4.
Is there somebody specific that does that, or is it just a squad altogether?
It's everyone, I'd say. No one any more than anyone else.
So you guys have now gone on. It's all water under the bridge. Game 5 done. Tomorrow, finals, Panthera. How do you feel going against these guys? Do you have something left in the tank? And do you have any surprises?
Well, there's definitely some things we have left in the tank because there's some things that we might want to play that we think enemy already knows about, that we think they'll be good against. But we'll just have to see. Yeah.
We'll just have to see. That's what Hurriwind has to say for himself. Final thoughts on that set and what you've done so far?
Well, I just want to say that I'm glad that we played against them in the semifinals. We saw Panthera. They looked very strong today. I know for me and probably some others, having a game that was like more stressful, tougher, to get some more practice in before we had to play Panthera is really valuable. So I'd say we're happy to have that.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Hurriwind. Congratulations on your victory. You certainly earned it. A lot of tough games. That's going to do it for us here on the stage at DreamHack 4 today. We've got the finals going on tomorrow for both Smite and Paladins. Join us at 1:45 for that Paladins action and 3:45, 9:45 a.m. on the East Coast back in the U.S. right here on hi-rez TV. For everybody here, the players, the fans, the cast of the coaches, and Peckies, we'll see you tomorrow.